30 iconic World Cup moments, 30 terrible descriptions. Today your job is simple. Work out what's being described from just a single sentence. Are you ready? Welcome everyone. Let's kick off the quiz with this one. A short Argentinian claims the Almighty assisted him in a blatant piece of rule breaking. That was Diego Maradona's Hand of God moment. Cheeky. Moving swiftly on, a peckish Uruguayan mistakes an Italian defender for a mid-game snack. The answer is Luis Suarez's biting incident in 2014. Tasty. Next up, we have the inventors of the game are defeated by postal workers and bar staff, who refer to the game as soccer. Yeah, the United States beating England in 1950. Good for them. For our fourth moment, an excited tourist shows the corner flag a good time. That was Roger Miller's legendary dance in 1990. A corner flag has never had more attention. Number 5 then. Brazil hosts a national celebration that Germany ruins within half an hour. Unfortunately, this was not a bad dream. That was Brazil losing 7-1 to Germany in the 2014 semi-final. And for our next description, a befuddled official thinks 1 + 1 = 3. Yes, that's Graham Poll's 3 yellow cards, awarded to Joseph Simonich in 2006. Next is, a Brazilian teenager visits Sweden and accidentally becomes the best football player on earth. That was Pelé at 17 in the 1958 World Cup. A casual trip to Sweden turned into the beginning of a legend. Things get heated here. Someone leaves a ball in the middle of a martial arts tournament between Portugal and the Netherlands. Yes, the Battle of Nuremberg in 2006. A football game briefly became a very angry boxing match. See if you remember this one. A tiny Central American nation is handed the group of death and treats it as a slight inconvenience. Yes, that was Costa Rica winning the group of death in 2014. Okay, for number 10 we have an intense French guy marks his retirement by headbutting a completely innocent Italian. The answer, Zidane's headbutt in the 2006 final. Not the retirement speech anyone was expecting. And the next one is, a Brazilian striker gets a terrible haircut and then wins the World Cup. Yes, Ronaldo's haircut in 2002. The haircut was a distraction from talk about his injuries. Well, it certainly worked. Here's the next one. A host nation sends Italy home and somehow the goal scorer gets punished for it. That was South Korea beating Italy in 2002. The goal scorer, Ahn Jung-hwan, was released by Perugia the following day. Its owner said, "I have no intention of paying a salary to someone who has been the ruin of Italian football." Oh dear. Next up, 1 yellow card upsets a grown Geordie. Yes, Paul Gascoigne in 1990. Well, the evening got a lot worse after that. And number 14 is, a Dutch midfielder practices karate on a Spaniard's chest while the ref watches on with mild interest. No, this was not a new martial arts event, it was Nigel de Jong's kick in the 2010 final. Somehow only a yellow card. Right, approaching the halfway mark now. A part-time dental student sends Italy home early. That was North Korea beating Italy in 1966. A painful appointment for the Italians. How about this one? A Spanish midfielder completes football, then remembers someone who couldn't be there. Yes, Andres Iniesta's winner in 2010. Pure class. Okay, item 17 is: a team loses 2 players and somehow still beats Maradona's Argentina. The answer: Cameroon beating Argentina in 1990. Apparently 9 players was enough. This next one is rather surreal. A global superstar misses a penalty so badly the actual goal collapses from embarrassment. That was Diana Ross at the 1994 World Cup. I have no idea what I just saw. Okay, for number 19 we have: world champions spend years perfecting possession football only to be undone by a man impersonating a salmon. Yep, Spain losing 5-1 to the Netherlands in 2014. Robin van Persie was swimming back to his spawning grounds. On to the next one. One penalty kick stands between Africa and history, but the crossbar disagrees. Oh yeah, that was Asamoah Gyan's penalty miss in 2010. And number 21. A Dutchman mistakes a mullet for a tissue. Well, we've all done that. Yes, that was the Frank Rijkaard and Rudi Voller spitting incident in 1990. Inexplicably, they were both sent off for that. Okay, let's see who remembers this. A European team spends the week laughing at Algeria and then accidentally loses to them live on television. Yes, Algeria beating West Germany in 1982. A classic case of counting your chickens. Next is: a guy takes a seat mid-attack and somehow defeats the reigning champions. That was Senegal beating France in 2002. A casual sit-down with massive consequences. And now? A German goalkeeper tries professional wrestling, then stands around looking annoyed that the game has stopped. Blimey, Schumacher's collision with Battiston in 1982. That was not a tackle, that was an audition. For 25, we have: an Italian scores in a World Cup final and briefly forgets whether he's happy or terrified. Yes, Marco Tardelli's legendary celebration in 1982. That is not a celebration, that is a man experiencing every emotion at once. We're into the closing stages now. A man takes a brisk jog around a crowded field of bewildered Englishmen and then wins a game of football. The answer is Maradona's second goal against England in 1986. Still ridiculous. Number 27 is: a group of Saudi footballers look at a 36-match unbeaten run and decide that's probably long enough. Yes, that was Saudi Arabia defeating Argentina in 2022. It wasn't the dream star Argentina were looking for. Okay, remember this one? The divine ponytail attempts a direct pass to God. That was Roberto Baggio's penalty miss in 1994. Just look at that. We're almost at full time. A guy in yellow suffers a devastating facial injury after being struck on the knee by a ball. Yes, that was the Rivaldo incident in 2002. Well, I hope he made a full recovery. And finally, a bearded man waits 20 years and then picks up a golden cup like he's won the raffle. Yes, Lionel Messi finally lifts the World Cup in 2022. No thanks to Saudi Arabia though. And that is the final whistle. How did you get on? What moments from this year's World Cup can you give a bad description to? Let us know. If you enjoyed this quiz, a like is always humbly appreciated. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, cheerio.